Hello and namaste, very warm good afternoon, dear students, viewers, ladies and gentlemen, and entire world wishers. Welcome back to my channel, 𝗟.𝗧𝗨𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟. And today, at this moment, I'm standing here and connecting to make you understand and the short summarizations of the 𝗟.𝗧𝗪 section 2 and the summary explanation and interpretation of the story. Learn how to climb the trees. So let's get it started. So could you lend me your ears and listen carefully? Okay, basically this lesson is also another example, an exclusive example of how people needs to be more bold and courageous. Many years ago, there lived a person, a small boy, and his name was 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟, and this story had taken place in the village of 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟, India, and which was surrounded and encircled with the dense forest. And one day, the writer was, upbringing and rising in the rural countryside of 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟, which was full of greenery and vegetations. And basically, this story has a couple of friends, and one is Mr. 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟 and 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟, and was one of the person, and he was very much clever and talented, who could climb the trees of the any trees of the forest, whereas Mr. 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟 did not have the skill of climbing trees. And Mr. 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟 was that person, and he had gifted a double barrel gun to Mr. 𝗟.𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟, and he was also, namely alternatively called as Mr. 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟, and he had gifted a double barrel gun, and to make him feel that he no more became a child, and so that he could become the bold, courageous, and one of the gallant person, so that he could stay and fight with the wild beasts and wilder animals inside the forest. So this story basically inspires you and teaches us how can we adjust with the situation, condition, and face the wild beasts and animals as well. Okay, so the time passed by, and in the course of time, they had decided to go to visit inside the deep forest. One day they had decided, and they made agreement to set out for the dense forest for the hunting, and like being the poachers. And he was just 8 years old hard at the time, and 𝗟.𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟 Mr. 𝗟.𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗑 went for the shooting of the wild animals. They scrubbed and deeply, thoroughly searched inside the forest area, and but they could not find anything significant, any animals as well. And they took a sandy nullah, a small road away and paths, and through the bamboo jungles. As they went along, a tiger appeared there, came out on the way of Nalla, and stood looking at them. So for a long minute the tiger stared, and then it turned and went back the way it had come. Then they continued to walk on, to proceeding forwards to find out their ultimate destinations, and it was gonna be in a dusky time and the evening time. Until then they could not find any animals and hunting, prey there. They could not find, and it was, the tiger again appeared there, which was growling and twisting its tail, and they again stood quite still. After some time, the tiger quieted down and left the nullah. So a little later, uh, you know, a number of jungle fowl rose up there. The jungle hen and cock appeared there, and one of my, my friend Mr. Horsing was impassionate and not having perseverance and tolerance power, and they started to rouse cackling out the dense scrub, evidently disturbed by the tiger, and my friends impassionately being intolerative and should, open the fire without advising and suggesting with me by, going beyond of my permission. And before I could stop him, he had made a fire. Then the tiger got very much irritated and terrifying roar. The tiger attacked, pounced towards us, breaking the branches, and being the helter-skelter situation, my friend just became speechless. Out of the solution, I suddenly ran, dashing and scratching, pulling out the bushes and horse and shirts. And my tree was very near. There was a reuny tree. I suddenly climbed up on the top of the trees, whereas my friends Horsing could not because he had never learned how to climb the trees. Then, at the meantime, my friend Horsing was mauled by that tiger because he had slapped on his belly abdomen, creating a howl. And he started to scream, "Somebody, please help me, is there someone?" Then I suddenly fired, standing on the reuny tree. Then he ran away. He could, hardly leave him abandoned on the ground at the root base foundation of that reuny tree. Then I suddenly get down, alighted down to see and sympathize, console my dear friends. What happened? Are you okay? What the hell you took the decision and fired? Because the tiger also never attacked, and no any animals will attack until and unless we tease them, we irritate them, we provoke them, we uh, you know temptation where they were creating, we will create the temptation, tempting by our endeavor and efforts because of our selfishness. That's why he was, overbleeding, and there was a big hole. His small intestine also came out, and we suddenly collected some dry leaves of the trees and put inside his intestine, as well as the interior materials of the fluid and enzymes as well. I suddenly took out my poggery, which I was having on my head, sides making as a crown, and suddenly enrolled, like doing bandaging over his abdomen and stomach, and creating the very strong knotting it tight to keep everything from falling out, so that I can stop and it may go more worse. And we suddenly became helpless. Till then, it had become already delayed in evening times. So, dear students, viewers, ladies and gentlemen, our life is full of adventurous and unwanted and unexpected situations may happen and create any time in any way nobody could predict, because everything is unpredictable and future is also the same. Then we're very far from our village, not only from the city urban area and civilization and the safe zone. We need to walk on foot. The 𝗟.𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟, the hospital was lying out there. We need to walk extra 3 miles. It's really hard to pick up him. But although I dared to pick up and lifting him, he was injured and he was screaming and on my body, and slowly we proceeded towards the 𝗟.𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗔𝗟. So there was one villager's rural girl. Her name was Aladia. the tobacco seller in front of the entrance of the hospital. The doctor, we just called for the help, and um, is there doctor? Is there somebody? We are in the very much unexpected problems because we encountered with the tiger had mauled and attacked pounced over us. Then till then it had already become 10 p.m. and gonna be midnight. Then although she helped us by holding the lal train, and she also conveyed to call pass the information towards the doctors, and he just came out from his residence and Kachay's clinic, and they just she was holding the lal train, and I was the doctor, and we all together simultaneously created a kind of a string bed so that the doctor and we could easily stretch his the huge one was there, and Arsing was given a drink of very good medicine of like it was anesthesia he need to go through. That's why that thought the tigers had killed and eaten us. All the villagers were also envious and worried. In this way, doctor sewed up the whole horse's stomach, and I could hardly save my dear friend's life. Very nearly towards the midnight time, all the villagers were worried, anxious, and restlessly waiting to us. And we also did not have any telephone and mobile phone, any connectivity like these days we used to have. That's why they had, then Mr. Coursing, I, simply exclaimed that, so Sahib, how it is necessary to climb, to know, having the knowledge of climbing trees as well as having the skill of saving oneself and shooting, firing the guns. Then my friend just remained silent and speechless. How necessary it is, significant and needy and important for a single person before to approach and tread the dense forest. In this way, Arsing had someone to advise him when he saw a boy. His stomach would not have been ripped open by a tiger. That's why, you can we can conclude that we need to be, adventurous, and you have to get ready to face the dangers as for given the challenges by the situation and condition. We need to be mentally, physically, and spiritually energetics so that you are likely to supposed to be safe and change the situation and circumstances which can be the unexpected, sudden, and hostile meetings. So our life is full of such hostile meetings, adventure, risks, enjoyment, rejoicement, as well as full of dangerous activities. So that was only for this day. Take care.